This is why Disney has spent multiple decades inserting small adult jokes and visual gags into their films. Watch some of the most inappropriate scenes in Disney films, including numerous jokes about the human body and the characters' love lives.
She ugly.
Before you watch, click subscribe. You'll join our notification squad and be the first to know of any new content. Can you guess which movie is represented by these emojis? Stay tuned to the end to find out.
Oh, 30.
Toy Story 3. Toy Story films have often focused on love stories like Woody and Bo Peep or Jessie and Buzz, but nothing has been more stable than the relationship between Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. Mrs. Potato Head joined the gang off-screen during the closing moments of Toy Story, and the two Spuds have been inseparable ever since. They even adopted some of the Pizza Planet aliens as their children and have had it pretty good throughout their time together. We got a little peek into how close the two actually are during a key scene in Toy Story 3. When Lotso Bear confronts the toys and reveals his evil intentions, Mrs. Potato Head steps up to tell Lotso off. Lotso plucks the mouth off of her, which enrages Mr. Potato Head. As he approaches, he exclaims,
"Hey, no one takes my wife's mouth, except me."
Clearly referring to an adult act. The fast-paced dialogue can make this joke easy to miss, but watching the scene over can clearly showcase what double meaning was meant behind the line. Most children wouldn't understand this line at all, but years from now, they look back and truly see what dirty, dirty Spuds Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head really are.
Oh, I guess Dad.
Hercules. For the 1997 release of the animated movie Hercules, Disney animators took a whole new approach to the mythological world of gods and monsters. This included taking some liberties with the monster designs and having them fit in with Disney style. One of the monsters showcased in the film is the giant centaur. The centaur is one of Hercules' first true challenges, as he tries to rescue Meg and showcase how well his training has gone. While Hercules' fight skills are impressive, the whole scene is really distracting because of the inappropriate design of the centaur's skull. Initially, the dropping forehead looks vaguely like a male's body part, but things become much more clearer towards the end of the fight. When a horseshoe hits the head of the centaur, it causes a long bump to form on the top of the creature's head. The bump and the drooping forehead are not subtle at all and definitely showcase the shape and form of male anatomy. The shot actually appears for several seconds before the centaur finally falls down and plops into the water. It's pretty surprising the scene made it past the MPAA review board without any censorship or animation changes requested. Ratatouille. It was a long time coming that Disney released an animation focused on the love of food and cooking, and the result was Pixar's Ratatouille in 2007. Breaking too many health code violations to count, the film showcased a young, inexperienced chef named Linguini using a rat in his hat to help him cook and achieve success for his French restaurant. The film has a lot of humor and heart, but there are also a couple of moments that push the scales of adult humor. While many kids may laugh at Linguini's suggestion that Remy the Rat hides in his Incredibles boxers, there's another scene later that pushes this humor even further. Linguini must finally reveal his secret to Colette before she quits the restaurant and leaves for good. While stumbling over words, he reveals he has a very small secret, and Colette's problem is priceless. With a quick glance, Colette can't help but look down at Linguini's downstairs area as he discusses this teeny-tiny issue. The move happens quick, but there's no denying Colette was thinking about Linguini hiding something much smaller under his clothes than a rat. Thankfully, before Colette can respond, Linguini reveals his deep secret and shows her Remy.
You're to be congratulated.
Yes.
That's about his deep secret.
Congratulations.
Bambi. If you think back to the golden age of Disney, then you probably assume classics like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Cinderella, and Sleeping Beauty are clean and family-friendly. Well, you'd be wrong. Bambi was released way back in 1942, and it is known for a dirty joke which has remained in the film for multiple decades and releases in theaters, on DVD, and now in digital format. The joke involves one of Bambi's good friends, Flower. In the movie, Flower sparks a romantic relationship with a female skunk. After some playful flirting, the two skunks kiss, and Flower's reaction is pretty risque. After turning completely red, the skunk stiffens up and flops over out of pure joy and excitement.
Dang.
Watching back over the scene, it's pretty obvious to correlate the blood flow, hardness, and excitement, which typically occurs when a male kisses someone that they're attracted to. Even back in the day, the Disney animators knew how to sneak in a few jokes aimed directly at grown-ups. Well played, Disney. Things obviously continue.
Dad, help!
What's wrong, honey?
I lost Mom.
Where are you?
We were hiking in the woods, and we heard a strange voice. When I turned around, she was gone.
I know.
What do you mean you know?
Emily, we've had this conversation before.
What?
This has all happened before.
I don't understand.
The truth is, you are...
Oh my god. I hear her calling me.
Do not go towards her.
Intended to go well for Flower because he actually has a brand new baby skunk at the end of the film. He names the skunk Bambi, after his best friend.
Hey, no cameras! Get out of here!
Cars. After taking on toys, bugs, and monsters, Pixar and Disney teamed up together to showcase the world of Cars. The 2006 film starring Owen Wilson builds a whole world around just cars with no humans at all. This leads to several jokes about cars replacing animals, cars doing human tasks, and an inappropriate joke about flashing. Within the first few minutes of the movie, we are introduced to Lightning McQueen and see how successful he is as a driver. After winning a race, two fangirls approach him in the pit and flash their high beams at him in a scene equivalent of a girl flashing her chest. This wasn't the only topless joke featured in the film. During another scene, a truck stop is shown in the distance. The name of the truck stop is Top Down Truck Stop, which is another reference to cars revealing themselves or going nude. A small sign underneath the truck stop sign even reads all convertible waitresses. It's clear these waitresses are using their top-down features to draw on male customers for a lot more than just the food and gasoline options. This joke was harder to notice as it was only featured in a quick clip, but any viewer with a keen eye can easily see it.
Oh, sure. We'll eat our dinner right after you eat this.
Inside Out. For Disney and Pixar's Inside Out, the film played it pretty safe by following the mind of an 11-year-old girl. Even with a pretty active imagination and a love for hockey, the filmmaker still managed to include an adult joke in the mind of the girl. This joke was based on the movie's location set in San Francisco. Not knowing the city very well, the character known as Fear asks if there's any bears in the city. At first, the other moods deny the presence of bears, and then Anger speaks up stating that he saw a really hairy guy who looked like a bear. For most children, this joke may seem silly and harmless, but adults can quickly put the clever puzzle pieces together and understand exactly what the filmmakers were talking about. San Francisco is known for its huge gay rights movement and support of the gay community. In said community, a bear is often referred to as a large, hairy gay man, and that's exactly what Anger was referencing in the clip. It's a pretty risky joke that Pixar let slip through the cracks, but it was a great way to connect the city, new experiences, and the knowledge of the animators.
Not a prince at all. Just a no-account street rat.
Aladdin and the King of Thieves. When the second sequel...
Well, I'm gonna stop it there. Let me know if you want to see another one. Bye.